Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today we'll have an backup class. We'll have it. Tomorrow onwards, we'll continue with the regular classes. Okay. Right. So in this session, we'll talk about the images, hyperlinks, list, tables. If possible, we'll also talk about the frames. Also, we'll talk about. We'll see whatever the things we can cover in this session. We'll cover. Try to cover them. Now we'll talk about the images part. Now, how do I place the images onto my web page? For placing the images onto my web page, we are going to use a tag called img tag. We are going to use it. So for example, so how I'm going to use the img tag? The syntax for the img tag is, so we have the img tag, then we are going to have the source. Source is equal to the file name. So what is the name of the file that you want to display? Okay, so you have to use the extension of the file also. What is the extension of that particular file? Then we have the attribute, what you call alt attribute, we are having it. So alt, so in case if your image is not displayed or because of some reason the image is not found, then so what is the alternate message that you want to give it? That will be putting the alternate message it is. Okay, it has to be displayed instead of the image, so that it's going to be taken care for us. Then we can also have the attributes like height and width attributes are there. So you can define what is the height of your image. Either you can have the value in pixels, you can have it, or you can have the value in percentages. Okay, you can make it of anything like. So we can also have the height value. We can also have the width value can also be specified. The same, the width value is going to be either you can have the value in pixels or you can have the value in percentages. Then you're going to close this. Now remember, this is an empty tag like your BR tag. So this tag doesn't have a closing like your paragraph tag or the body tag. So this doesn't have a closing, is not there. This has only the opening tag is there for us. I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this code. Yeah. Now we'll see one example. Now how we are going to do it. So let us say. So we'll talk about an example. So when I talk about an example, first I should have an image must be there with me so that I can display that one, right? So where is my image? Where exactly I'm working now. So I'm working, so this is the file, c2.html is a file which I'm working. Actually, this is created for me in a folder called Javits folder. It has been created. And then HTML is a folder. So first let me show you the structure there where exactly it is present for me. So it's in the D drive. Okay, so it is there in my folder. Then so there I'm having a folder called HTML is there. Now this is the location of my file. Okay, c2.html file is there. Now in this one, if you look in, there is one folder is there. We have one folder called images, right? Understood? No? I'm having a folder called images folder is there. So in this images folder, when I open it, now you see that there is one file is there called HR logo for me. Okay. So this file, it's a PNG file basically. So what I'm doing, I'm giving a right click on this one and then I'm selecting the properties. So once I select the properties, now you'll be see the properties of the particular file it's going to show me. So what it's going to show me the details is, so it is going to show me the type of file and all that stuff. Okay. So it is first, it is going to give me the location where exactly it is present, and it is going to give me the type of the file. So I'm selecting the advanced option. That's it. Let's go. Okay, sorry, folder is images it is. Okay, so I'll give a right click on this, my file. Now I'll select the, so properties of my file I'm selecting. So when I'm selecting the properties of my file now, so it is going to show me the file name. It is going to show me the type of file now. Type of file is .png. So the name of the file is HR logo and the file extension is .png for me, right? Okay, I'll just say click cancel. I'll get back to the normal zoom. Okay, I'll go to my program now. Now I want to show that particular file for me. So where my file is present, it is there for me in a folder called images. In that, so the file name is HR logo. Okay, .png, that is my file name I'm giving it. Okay, so right now I'm not giving any other attributes. I'm not giving it. I'm just closing the greater than symbol there. Then I'm saving my file. So let's go to the browser and see the output of this file now. So I'll go to the browser. Okay, then I'm opening the file, Control+O, I'm using it to open my file. Then, so the file name is C2. I'm selecting my file and I press open. Now you see that it's going to show me my file is going to show for me, right? సో అర్థమైందండి. సో మీరు ఇమేజెస్ డిస్ప్లే చేయాలనుకోండి, సో యూఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు యూస్ ఐఎంజీ ట్యాగ్ యూస్ చేస్తాం మనం. ఐఎంజీ ట్యాగ్ యూస్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ ఫైల్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది అనేటువంటిది మనం స్పెసిఫై చేయాలి. అంటే వాట్ యు కాల్ ఇట్ as path అంటాం మనం. సో ఐ నీడ్ టు గివ్ ది path of my file where exactly my file is present. Now in this case what I am doing is my file is present. I'll go back again. My file is there in this particular folder. Okay, D drive, so on, so folders, it is there for me. But what I'm doing, I'm not giving all that complete path. I'm not giving D colon, all that. I'm not giving it. Right? You would understand? So I'm not using the complete D colon, all that complete path. I'm not using it. What I'm doing is I'm just using the folder name images. In that, I'm having my file called hrlogo.png file. But remember, my file is present in my HTML folder. Right? Understand what I'm telling? So my file is present. We'll talk about this one. Okay, so my file, my image file, okay, so image file, sorry, is, sorry, like I'm having some disturbance with my typing. Okay, no problem there. In subfolder for me. Okay, it is there for me in my subfolder. So what is that we are talking about? So where my file is present, I'll do one thing. I'll just copy down the path first so that we can understand. I'm just clicking there. Okay, my image folder is in the images folder. My file is here for me in the HTML folder. Now this is c2.html is my file. Sorry. So my file is c2.html. Okay, and then my image is there in the images folder, and then it is the file name is hrlogo.png file. You can use any file name can be used. You can use depending upon the availability of the file, which file is available for you, you can display that part and everything here. Right now, so my file is present, my HTML file is present in the HTML folder. My image is available in the subfolder. That is, in this HTML folder, there's a folder called images. In that, my file is present. So what I'm doing is to get that file now. So what is that I'm doing? So I'm just using the path like this. Okay, I'm just using the simple path like this one so that it's going to display me my image. Now let us say that the image is not there in the subfolder. It is there somewhere. It is present for me. Let us search for some file where it is available for me in some other folder. Let me look into D drive. So let me check in a folder called XAMPP. Okay, there I'm having a folder called htdocs. So htdocs, there is one folder called R15 is there. Okay, I'll just zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, so in that there is one folder called photos. Now here I'm having a file called, okay, some file name is there for me like 18f3 something like this. To avoid this one, I'll just give a better name for the identification purpose. I'll use the option called rename for this one. So I'm using a file, okay, avo, I'll give the file name. Okay, I'm going to give a file name as avo. Right, this is my file. Let me look into the properties of this one. Right click and then properties. So what is the use of the open properties? I want to find out what is the type of file. మనం ఓపెన్ చేసి మనం ఏదైతే ఫైల్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నామో దాని యొక్క ప్రాపర్టీస్ చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం మనం టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ అది మనకు పిఎన్జీ ఫైలా జేపీజే ఫైలా ఏంటి, వాట్ ఇస్ ద టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఫైల్ ఇస్ దట్ వన్. టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఓపెన్ ది ప్రాపర్టీస్ and then I'm going to find out them. Okay, so this is the path where exactly my file is present for me. I'll just copy this, Control C, I'm using it. Then let me unzoom them. Then I'm going back now. I want to show that particular image I want to display. Then, so what I'm doing, I'm writing image source is equal to the file name I need to give it, right? So to give the file name, so you have to give the complete path has to be given. So backslash avo.png file I'm giving it. Okay, so I given a path there to open my file. Let me see, let me copy this. Okay, I'm opening it in my file now. I'm giving the complete path. So in my file now, I'll just save it. Okay, I'm going to the browser. Then I'll just refresh my page now. You can see now that the avocado.png file, whatever it is, it is being displayed for us onto the screen for us, right? Okay. Now what we did, we followed two things. One is the one where we didn't give any path. So it's just we are given the images and then subfolder name we are given. That is a subfolder followed with this one. So this kind of style of giving the path, okay, this is called relative path. This path is called, it's called the relative path. It means you are giving the path from your location where you're present. Okay, right? We are giving the path from my location, that is from where I am present. I'm giving it. Now this one, I'm not giving from my path. So this path is an absolute path. So this is called the absolute path. That means you are telling the path right from the beginning, you're going to give it. Okay, right from the starting of the D drive or C drive, whatever the drive is present. So this absolute path, you're going to use it. Okay, this is called the complete path you're going to give. So it's called the complete path for us. Okay, the complete path I'm going to give it. Okay, but remember the absolute path, we don't use it when you're going to work with the websites. So generally when you're going to have the web designing, you're going to do it, will not use the absolute path, because if you are changing your location from one place to another place, that is if you're moving your the HTML file, you're moving it from one place to another place. Okay, then what happens is automatically it is going to search for my absolute path. That creates a problem. Now when I'm moving all these files to some other location, if I'm moving it, then if I don't want to have any problem, so better you put that one into your a subfolder where exactly your files are present. Then copy all the images also to the subfolder. That will be always better. You don't have to worry of what is the path I have to use it. For example, today, let us say one domain name is there. I'm using a URL, something like, okay, www.huddlerice.com, I'm using it. Tomorrow, let us say I change to hr.com, I'm changing it. So if I'm giving the absolute path, then what will happen is I need to change all my files and everything has to be changed. To avoid that one, it's always better you use the relative path, you use it. You don't have to worry of changing the path for the file names, you not to worry about, right? Okay. So that is what we follow the concept of the relative path, we will be following it. Okay, right. Now let us see the ALT option. So let us say we'll use the ALT now. ALT is equal to, so it's a fruit name. Okay, I'll just give it as fruit. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm giving a wrong path there. Okay. Then I'll just save my file and then check it out. Now when you see that, it's going to give me what? The file name is not displayed, but it's going to show me it as fruit there. That because it means that the file is missing. So when the file is missing, it's going to give me the picture is not going to be displayed for me, but next to it, what you are given in the ALT, that is going to be displayed there. Okay, so whatever you give it, or you can say image is missing. So you want to give a message like image is missing. Okay, give a message like image is missing there. I'll save it. Now you see the refresh the page. You see that it's going to show me the message as image is missing. Okay, like that. So you can also use the options like height and width options can be made use of it, so that the image can be, you can have the compression of the image can be done. That is, you can decrease the size of the image or you can increase the size of the image. So if you want to increase the size of the image, you can increase the height percentage. You can go beyond the 100%. I'm talking about beyond the 100%. If you go, it gets increased. If you want to decrease it, you can just decrease it to 90%, 80%. You can use it. Then what will happen? The image size is going to decrease for me. Okay. So that can be done. Like for example, let us say that I'm using the option what you call height. Height is equal to, I said 40%, I'm giving it my file, save it. Then you see there's a file is good. I mean, okay, let me use a width because height is not applicable for this. It's not getting it done. Okay, I'll use the width, save it. Mhm. Okay, let me use the px values. So it's I call, okay, let me use 400 px. I'm using pixels, I'm using it. So you see that the image is going to increase for me there. So I want to decrease it. So I'll say it's equal to 100 px. I'm using it. Now, what is the problem with the percentage means? Percentage is the problem with your window size. So what is the size of your window? Based upon that, it's going to align me for me. Now, for example, let us say, so I'm giving now instead of using 100, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this one more line, I'll copy this. So after this, I'll use the BR tag, I'll use so that it moves to the next line for me. We now will understand the percentage concept, how it's going to work for me. Now, let us say that the image I'm giving it as 40% now here. Okay, I'll save this. Now, let's refresh the page. Now, you see one is there here. Okay, the first one that we gave the 100 px, this is going to be 40%. Now, if you look in, okay, this is my whole window. This is in the whole window. So, this is going to be 40%. Now, what I do is I just decrease the size of my window. See, so when I'm going to decrease my size of the window, you see that the image size is getting decreased for me, or it is increasing it. So when I'm increasing my size of a window, it's getting increasing. When I'm decreasing my size of the window, it is getting decreased. That is, I given it as percentage. That means, so based upon the availability of your window, it's going to be automatically decreasing or increasing the size to 40%, right? Okay. Let me take another example. Now we have the same one more I'll take. Okay, next to it, I'll also add one more BR I will add to this. Then now let us say I'll make this as 90%. I'll make the size of my window. Okay, I'll just refresh my page. Now you can see that. So it's going to be images there for me. Okay. So I got my file. Now you can see it's a 90% size. Now you see that I have decreased my window. Okay, my size of my window is decreasing and increasing. Now you can see it's going to increase or decrease for me. But the first one what we gave, this is what 100 px I gave it, right? So I gave it as 100 px. So then what is happening? So able to understand what I'm telling now here? So the first line, okay, so the first one, when you talk about this is the 100 px part it is. Okay. The second one you talk about this one, this it's much lesser for me. That is in my line number 11 it is. Okay. So this one is the 90% of this image. So this is the 90% image. Okay. So we'll do one thing, we'll take the better color, we'll take it. So understood, right? So this image, what we are used, so this is the 90% of the window size. Okay. So now this size, this is the whole window it is. So in this window, so it is going to occupy the only 10% space is left for me here. So it is going to occupy the 90% of my window it's going to occupy. So whereas this one, when I'm talking about, I'm asking to occupy only 40%. So this is going to occupy less than 50% of my window it is. So if you look in approximately, if this is going to be the center of my screen, so here it is going to occupy 40%. Okay, like that. Understood? So whereas when you talk about this one, the first one, so we gave it as 100 px, we gave it. So this will be the standard size. So you increase the window size or you decrease the size of your window, it's going to be the same thing for us. Doesn't change the size, doesn't change for me, but only size changes for my image if we are given it as in pixels for me. So if I'm going to give the pixels based on that, it's going to do the adjustments, it's going to do it for me. Okay. right? Like that. Okay, fine. Okay, something like this. That's how you are going to do it for your Windows. When the images you're going to have the sizes and all are going to be there for us. Okay, fine. So that's how you work with the images. Now, then we talked about what you call list. We want to have it. Okay. So how we define the list and all. So if you want to define the list, so there are two types of lists are there for me. So when you talk about your list, so we have two types of list. So list types are two for me. So what are the two types of list? The first one is called ordered list. We call it as the first one is called the ordered list. So what do you mean by ordered list for me is we are going to have the, like I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now we also call it as numbered list. We call it as, it's also called the numbered list. Like for example, like this, what I have written 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is called the ordered list. So we have one more list, what you call unordered list. Okay, so the other one is unordered list. Okay. So we have one more is the unordered list. So what is this unordered list? We also call this one as bulleted list. It's also called bullet. So the bullet points. Okay, you'll put some dot or something like that, right? It's like that. It's called the bulleted points. We call it as. Now, how do I create my list? So when I want to create the unordered list, if I want to create, we are going to use ordered list with this. Okay, I'll be using a tag called OL tag. I'll be using it. So if I'm going to use the unordered list, I'll be using a tag called UL. I'll be using it. Okay, right. Then we'll be using a tag called li tag. We'll be using it. It's called the list index. It is called. Okay, this is called a list index. We call it as. We'll discuss how to use them and all. Right. Now, for example, let us say I want to create or I want to display the list of fruits I want to display. So I want to display the list of fruits. Then how I do it? Okay, let's see this. I'll take my example from the HTML page only. I'll take. Okay, so I want to give, let's say I'm going to give the heading tag I'll use. H1 I'm using. Okay, list of fruits I'm writing. So list of fruits I'm writing on top. Then, so I'll start the OL ordered list. I'll start 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to have it. So for that one, I'll use the list index li. So let us say the first one is I'm giving apple. The second one I want to have it. Okay, orange. So one more I want to have banana. Then. Right, I'll save this. Let's go to the output and check how it's going to work for me. I'll refresh now. It's going to give me the list of fruits. It's going to give me 1, 2, 3 like this. Orders you're going to give it ordered list. So I'm not doing any changes there. I mean, I'm not giving numbers, but I've used only the tag I have used. So it's going to give me what automatically it's going to give me the ordered list is going to give for me. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this example. Okay, I'll paste it here. Now, similarly, this one, now in the output, if you look in, it's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now, I don't want to give the numbers. I want to put some symbol. I want to put dot symbol. I want to put. Now, instead of using OL, we call it as UL. You call it as UL stands for unordered list. We call it as. Okay. What's wrong? Yeah. So it's called the unordered list for me. Now let me refresh my page. Now you see that it's going to give me the list of fruits. Dots is going to print for me. Now it's not going to use what 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not using. It's going to use a dot there. So earlier it was using 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. Okay. Now I don't want the bullets. I don't want it. I want to change the option now. Then what you can do is we have the option what you call type is there. So we can specify the type there. So I'll be giving UL. So I'll be giving type is equal to disk, I'm giving it. So let's see this. I'll refresh. Now you see, you're going to see the disk only. It's okay. No change in the disk part. So that is the default one for me. I'll give it as type is equal to circle. I'll be giving. Okay, I'll just refresh my page. Now you see that. So earlier there was a circle which was filled for me. Now when you say circle, it's an empty circle. It's going to come for me like this. There is a type for me. Or what I can do is I have one more type called square. So I'm having a type called square there. So I'll refresh my page, right click, and then you can use the option refresh, or you can use what you call reload. You see that it's going to give me a small square like box is going to give me instead of giving a circular thing like this. Okay, here you can see it's going to be dot here for me, the box, the black box, you're going to see it, right? So like that, you can specify the type for the UL, you can specify it. Now, what about the OL? Do we have the options for the OL? Yes, we have the options for the OL also, we have it. Okay, let's see them. I'll just copy the same example. I'll just copy it. So, okay, I'm copying it. I'm going back to there. I'm just pasting it there. Okay. So now here what I'm doing. So for this OL, I'm using the option called type here. So type is equal to, so I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want it. I want to get the ABCD. So I can just specify the value is type is equal to A. I'm giving it. Now see, it's going to give me ABCD. It's going to give me. So I'm getting it in small letters. If I want to get in capital letters, you can say type is equal to capital A. You can give it. So when I say type is equal to capital A, we are going to get the order is ABCD like that. Okay. Now, if you don't want it, you want to get in Roman letters, you want to get, okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, you want to get. So you can use them, you'll get the Roman letters. So for example, let me repeat again. And this same thing, I'm repeating it. I'm going to have multiples are there for me so that I can see the options there. 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see that. It's going to do the repetition, is going to do it for me. Right. So we have something what you call, so this is what, it's a single list for me. Now I can also have nested list, we can have it. So we have a concept called nested list. That means, so I'm having one option in there, XYZ, something like this. Inside this, I want to have again sub options. I want to have it like this. Understood now what I mean this? Okay, I want to have an option. Now I want to come back. I want to have the option number 2 there. Then I want to write something like this. Then I'm going to have in this again, you want to continue with the ABCD, you can continue with the ABCDs. Or you want to have the Roman letters, you want to have it, you can also have the Roman letters like this. Okay, like this I can have this. It's what we call them a nested list, we call it as. So I want to have a nested list. Remember, nested lists can be there in the ordered list as well as you can have it in unordered list. Both we can have it. You can have a combination of the ordered list and unordered list. Both can be combined into to form a nested list. Okay, we'll take one small example. We'll see it. For example, let us say in apples. Let us say I want to have the different apples like thing I want to have. Okay, let us say I want to have the unordered list. I'll take, so UL I will take there. Okay, now what I want to have there, so let us say we call it as a green apple. Okay, I'm writing it as green apple just for demo purpose. I'm just writing it. Maybe let's say you call it a yellow apple. Okay, so I'm writing in red apple. Okay, something like this I'm going to have it. Okay, let's say this. Okay, assume now we also have one more, we call white. So let us go to the output and check, right, refresh. Now you see apple is there. Inside this I'm going to have another sublist like thing. It's created like green, yellow, red, white, like this. The sublist has been created like this. So you can have multiple lists can be created as you wish. Okay, so you can have the nesting is going to be done. Now, if I'm closing this one, okay, UL I have closed it, and then I'm going for the next LI index I have gone. You see that the next index is going to be 2. The next previous index has been continued for me. Okay, apple orange is continued. That is, I'm closing here the UL. Then again, I'm starting the list index. So this list index is taken for the, so this one. So that is OL what we have written previously. Now again, let us say in orange, I want to have another sublist like thing. I want to have it. Now let us say I want to have an ordered list. I want to have it. So then, okay, let's say apple, I want to have, it's a Nagpur apple, sorry, orange. Okay, let us say you call it as Sholapur apple. Okay, let us say you have Bangalore apple. No, sorry, orange I'm talking about. Or you can also have something else like local, whatever you call it as, like this. Now, like this is I want to have it. Now let's see this and refresh. Now you can see in orange, you're going to see Nagpur, Sholapur, something like that you're going to get. Understood? No? So we can have the nesting can be done. So inside one list, I can have another list can be used. So which we call it as nesting list, you call it as, okay, nested list. Okay, or you call it a sub list, right? Or you also call it as multi-level sub list. Okay, first level, second level, third level. So what it's doing automatically is going to give me the indentation is going to follow. Now you see that the space has been increased for me. This is what you call indentation, we call it as. Okay. The list is getting, as you're going to add more and more sub list, you're going to add it. You see that the space is going to increase for you and we are going to get the output there. Okay, something like this. Okay, now for the images, we have one more option is there, what you call title option is there. So that's going to give me the mouse pointer, along with the mouse pointer, it's going to give me the title is going to be given, what's called, let's see this, I'll give it as title, it's equal to, okay. So I'll say HR logo, I'll give it, okay, I'm giving a message there. I'll just refresh. Now I'm just going there on top my image. So when I place my mouse pointer over there,
there is a spelling mistake in title. T is not present, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now you can see there. So it's going to show me there. Once I place my mouse pointer over there, you can see that it's going to show me along with my mouse pointer over there, right? Okay. So that is the title for us. So you can also use the title tag, can also be used for the images. Okay. So you understood this, how we are going to work out with the order list, unordered list and all that. Okay. So any questions over here in the order list, unordered list, anything that you are not understood?
Hello.
Hi, Japan. Hello.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, image సరిగ్గా కొద్దిగా అర్థం కావట్లేదు సార్, మరి లైట్ చెప్తారా?
Okay, I'll just get back to it again. No issues in that. Okay, when I'm talking about my OL list, right? In OL also what you can do is you can have the option called start, we can make use of it. So what is this start means? So when I'm using the option called start, I can tell that let us say the list I want to start with 3. I don't want to start with 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to start. I want to start with 3, 4, 5, something like that. Then I can make use of the option called start there. So start equal to, I'm giving it. Now you see that instead of starting with 1, the list has started with 3 onwards for us. Okay. Right.
సార్ మీరు అక్కడ నెంబర్ 3 ఇచ్చారు కదా సార్, రోమన్ నెంబర్ వచ్చింది ఇక్కడ.
మనం ఇక్కడ టైప్ ఇచ్చాం కదా. So we are given type is equal to I, we are given it. So it's going to give me the Roman letters 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in case if I given the type is equal to A, if you are given, mute your microphone please. If I'm giving a type is equal to A there, so then what will happen is, so I'll be getting, instead of starting with A, B, C, D, it will be starting with C onwards there, right? You can see that, okay? So that start is, you're going to give it, a numerical you're going to give it, but what is the type you are defined? Based upon the type, it's going to continue for us. Okay, but the start value is only the numerical value for us, like that.
సార్ మనం టైప్ యూస్ చేయకుండా డైరెక్ట్ స్టార్ట్ కూడా పెట్టొచ్చు కదా సార్ మనం?
No, without type, yes, you can do it. No problem. So we can cut off this type is equal to something. So when I'm not using it, by default, it takes the numbers for me, like 1, 2, 3, 4, it is going to take them. I'll just refresh. You can see it's going to take 1, 2, 3 for numericals, it will take for me by default. So if you don't want the numericals, you want the Roman letters you want to use, then you'll be using type is equal to I, you'll be writing it. When you write type is equal to I, it gives me the numericals. Roman letters, it is going to give me like that. So it is depend upon you. So what you want to have it. If you're not specifying anything, by default, it takes a numbers for your list for us. So something like this. Okay. We also have what you call tables are there. So we'll discuss about the tables in the next class. Okay. Because we have less time, we cannot cover the whole stuff. Table cannot be completed in this whatever the time we are having right now. I'll just give you the brief introduction to the table. Then we'll discuss more on that in the next class. Okay. For the table creation, we have a tag called table tag is there in our HTML. Then we have another tag called tr tag is there. So which means table row. We have one tag called td tag is there that talks about the table data. Then we have one tag called caption tag is there for the table. So which is going to talk about the headings for my table. Then we have a tag called t body. We are having it. It talks about the body of my table. So we have t footer. Okay. So it's going to talk about the footer of your table. We have th is going to be there. So that talks about the table headers, we call it as. So you will have the slight differences will be there. So tr talks about the table row. So td talks about the table data, or what is called the column data it is. Okay, it's my column data. So caption, so this is the heading for the table. So this is heading for the table. Okay. So heading for the tables. Then body, it's a body, as the name says, it's a body of my table. So footer, so this is going to be footer, th. So this is going to be the headers for me, so table headers. I mean, it will be slightly changed. The output will be slightly bold, you'll be saying it when you talk about the table headers. Okay. These are the basic tag that we talk about. In addition to this, we also have the options what you call the call span, row span. Okay. So many different options are there. We'll discuss that. So in the tomorrow's class, we'll talk about the tables. We'll talk about so how to use the tables, how to create the tables, different types of tables, how you create it, everything, options. Okay, that we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. We'll discuss. Okay.
సార్ టుమారో క్లాస్ 8 కేనా సార్?